Welcome to Area DMG.
Welcome back to Area DMG. I'm your host, Philip Wesley, the Mile High Mouth, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about the Game & Watch Super Mario Bros. Edition and what it could mean. Let's go to games. What it could mean for an eventual Game Boy Classic. So, let's talk about this for a little bit. This is the Game Watch Super Mario Bros., right? It's got a really great little color screen. Let's go ahead and make that a little bit less bright so you can kind of see it. See? It's got a great little screen. It's got a functional D-pad. Heck, that D-pad's not too bad. And these right here are like good select and start buttons. You could technically use the parts for this to make a Game Boy. I mean, it's not that much of a stretch. And, you know, it'd be kind of nice to celebrate the Game Boy with some kind of little testimony to it. Actually, I was trying to think about what we could do if they decided to make a Game Boy handheld one, like a Game Boy Classic or a Game Boy Mini. And that's what I'm going to be doing. This could be kind of a long video, and what we're going to do is kind of rationalize what I'd want it to be. Actually, the more I was thinking about it, the more I realized that if we did a Game Boy Mini, we may want to leave the Game Boy Advance out of it. Heck, Nintendo might not even want to put it in color. But what we really need to do is think about like what games would be on it and how they would do it, what its form factor would be, and so forth. Obviously, if you do a Game Boy Classic, you really should go with this look. It should look like the Game Boy, not like the Game Boy Pocket, the Game Boy Light, or if they decide to do a color screen on it, the Game Boy Color. And really, it just depends on what they want to do to make this like viable. There's a lot of things about the Game Boy which kind of make it a little bit difficult to make a Game Boy Classic. Because what are you going to do? Are you going to exclude all the Game Boy Advance games? Because honest to goodness, there's a ton of them. Do you want something that's just black and white or kind of greenish? And just exclude everything from here on? Or do you want it to be like just up to the Game Boy Color? Do you want it to connect to a system in any other way? Like, a lot of the success of the Game Boy came from multiplayer experiences. For example, there's all the little Pokemon games. Those ones, that kind of revitalized the Game Boy right in time for the Game Boy Color. And then, like, the Pokemon Red and Blue came out over here. Then Yellow came out with, like, Game Boy Color options. And then, of course, Silver and Gold in the future. But no. Do you do that? I'm going to go ahead and treat this initial thing as if you're just going to do... Well, I'm going to do just Game Boy games. I'm going to pretend for a moment that this is only single player focused. And you're just doing just normal Game Boy games. Oh yeah, that went to sleep. You know what? I'm thinking it. You're thinking it too. I just kind of have to, don't I? I mean, they're all there. All of them are here. You want me to do this, don't you? Yeah, you do. You know what you want. And I know what you want. There you go. Anyways, for the sake of this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about what a Game Boy Classic would be like, and the size I want it to be, and what I want it to include. Personally, if I were building it, I would build it up to the Game Boy Color, and it would include Super Game Boy functionality for certain games that contain it. You know, like Donkey Kong, which has a release on like, I think this has a release on the Virtual Console for 3DS, but doesn't have the Super Game Boy features. And I really feel like the Super Game Boy colors they put out for Donkey Kong and the additional sound effects that it has are fantastic. You don't have to have a border for it. But yeah, let's take a look at this, and let's pretend for a moment that Nintendo does do something like this, and they just include the original Game Boy, which, by the way, this is a Game Boy Pocket, second version, which has the power adapter light showing. The first versions of it didn't have that. And then the Game Boy Light, which of course had this screen right here, right? And it's backlit. Got it? Whoa! But yeah, let's pretend for a moment that they make just a Game Boy lineup. And let's pretend for a moment that it's only first-party Nintendo stuff. Well, first off, I like the screen that's on the Game & Watch. I want the system to be somewhere around the size of, say, like a WD My Passport hard drive or a Peak. Now, I would love to turn this Peak on, because this was a system that was designed so you could send email. Connects to, well, a cell phone thing and sends out email in the form of an SMS. You can check email using SMS. The only problem with this is I can't turn this one on because the battery for it got large. Dang it. But I'd like it to be about this size. You put the D-pad here, buttons over here, and select and start, and then a power button up on the top, volume button over here on the side, and then a way to charge it either here or here. That would be fine. That would be perfect. That would be the way to do it. Oh, and they could put a little thing here so you could reset it to go back to the main menu. So it'd be like boop, 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 and back to main menu. So this should be the form factor right here. It should have this kind of screen from this, and it should be about that thick. That's about right. I would literally like it to be this size. Or this size. This is about right too. Nah, the more I think about it, has to be this size. I mean, yeah, it's a little hand crampy. B and A, that, and then select and start. Fear the select button. But yeah, that would be the right way to do it. It would have to look like this, not like these, because there's really no nostalgia for those. And then let's talk about it. What games would be on it? Well, obviously, let's pretend for a moment that it's just single player, no multiplayer, no link cable, no infrared data port, and it was just normal Nintendo games. Well, obviously, you're going to have, if you're doing just black and white, you're going to have The Legend of Zelda. Of course, you're going to have Super Mario Land. You're also going to have Metroid 2. Yep. And you could have like probably like a good old Tetris. Oh, never mind. Let's see. What Tetris is people more familiar with? Not the one with the creepy music, but the this one. There you go. Yeah, you got that Tetris in there. Oh, if you got Tetris, you got to have Dr. Mario. And then I think you should patch that up with a little bit more representation for other games that are on the system. And, we've got 5 here. This right there would automatically make that that would make it right there. You've got an RPG, you've got a Super Mario game, Metroid 2, and 2 puzzle games. That's not bad. That's a pretty good mix right there. But I think I can do a little bit better. If I were doing a Nintendo Game Boy Mini or a Game Boy Classic, I would go ahead and... Okay, one, I'd skip the original Kirby's Dream Land and just go straight to Kirby's Dream Land 2. Maybe I'd include Kirby's Dream Land, but I didn't grab it from my box, so I'm not going to. Then, of course, I'd have Kid Icarus. I feel Revenge of the Gator would be the right one in there. Have another puzzle game with Mario Picross. Another Mario game with the superior Mario 2. I would go with Wario Land, Mole Mania, Balloon Kid, and Radar Mission. This is what I would do. I'd be like, Nintendo Game Boy Classic. 14 games, $99. I know people will be like, what? Well, the original Game Boy was $100. That makes sense. These are mostly single-player focused. I know a lot of people would be like, but where's Pokemon? And without being able to trade, if there's no multiplayer aspect, then yeah, I don't think you really want Pokemon if you don't have a multiplayer aspect in there. Because the whole point of Pokemon is the multiplayer. Of course, that can be argued that that's the same with Tetris. But Tetris, you know, most of these are not the... well, some of them are two-player. Like Revenge of the Gator, two-player. Balloon Kid, Radar Mission, Dr. Mario, Tetris, Mole Mania. Yeah, a lot of these have multiplayer options, but I would feel that if you're just doing first-party games, this is the perfect lineup for it. I know people might be like, why Kirby's Dream Land 2 instead of Kirby's Dream Land 1? Well, because Kirby's Dream Land 2 is superior. Now, if you're going to do Game Boy Color to it, if you're just going to go ahead and go all the way up to Game Boy Color, please don't make it Atomic Purple or Grape. Just go with the Game Boy look, color screen, and well, that makes this a little bit more interesting, because then we can have a little bit more fun with our choices. In fact, we could actually expand it a little bit. I don't want to get rid of anything that's on this list, but I would, if you do Game Boy Color, add Legend of Zelda DX. And if it's going to support the support color, might as well let it support the Super Game Boy stuff. So we'd automatically add Donkey Kong in there. So yeah, that would actually be, if they were just like this right here, and they're like, hey, here are 15 games, and we'd have to get rid of the original Tetris and just go with Tetris DX. And we'd get rid of the original Balloon Kid and replace it with Balloon Kid DX, which was a Game Boy Color version of Balloon Kid that was only released as a downloadable in Japan. I know, that's kind of like, what? And then since we're going to be Game Boy Coloring it a little bit, we can still keep this single player focused and add in Pokemon Pinball. It's not going to have the rumble, but it would be worth it. And then top it off with Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons, and yeah, that would be pretty much it. You'd be pretty much done at that point with it. Oh, wait, no. We need one more Kirby game in there. We need Kirby's Block Ball. Why do we need Kirby's Block Ball? Because we do. And you know what? If we got Pokemon Pinball in there, let's throw in Pokemon Trading Card Game. I mean, it's not the original Pokemon, but without the ability to trade, you're still a little bit, you're a little out of luck, but with many of these games, there's ways around it. Just keep beating up Imakuni then, Oh, and if you're going to go with Nintendo, I would ultimately like them to be like, hey, this is it with the Game Boy Color. Let's say they go a Game Boy Classic, all the way up to Game Boy Color, just first party. It would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 21 games. I think that's perfectly fine. Yeah. And have one of them just be something you unlock. Like, let's say you, actually, we could probably take out Revenge of the Gator and replace it with just Pokemon Pinball and be good, right? Because that's more the game that people would be there for. But yeah, if we did a Game Boy Color one, I'd want it to have 20 games, and these would all be that. That would be all first party. Now, let's pretend for a moment that we're in a perfect world. Nintendo's like, hey, we're going to go ahead and do this. And I'm like, yes. And they're like, you get to pick the games. And I'm like, I do? Perfect. And then, like, this is what it would be like if it were up to me. It would be absolute pandemonium, of course. Because, like, one of the first games I would totally add to that would be, well, Shantae. And then I'd follow that up with a little great game called Survival Kids. That would be amazing. Just think about that for a moment. A Game Boy that had Game Boy, Super Game Boy, and then Game Boy Color game support had about 25 games or so, and was about this size and had that screen. Oh, that would be beautiful. If I were picking it though, yeah, I would have Tomb Raider in there. The first one, not the second one, because more people need to play this one. Extreme Sports, because I love Way Forward. The Grinch, because I'm weird like that. Metal Gear Solid, because of course. Castlevania Legends, because that's the good Castlevania on there. Great Greed. And then Mega Man 5, because it's the only one that's not like a weird little like variation of it. Oh, I would put Revenge of the Gator back in there. And then I would of course be all like, oh, Final Fantasy Legend 1, 2, 3, an adventure. And then like Magi Nation. And then yeah. I would kind of go a little bit berserk with that. But let's pretend for a moment that best case scenario, we get a Game Boy Classic and it's up to the Game Boy Color, and it's just first-party games. Well, that would get rid of a lot of games that I really think people should play, like Metal Gear Solid. Come on, man, Metal Gear Solid for the Game Boy Color is amazing. Ghost Babel is amazing. More people should play it. And I would take these, of course. More people should play The Grinch. It's literally like Metal Gear Solid. And look, there's my original copy, Shantae. Yep. Oh, love me some Survival Kids. Magi Nation would be good, although you can't get like a Core Hyren in there without like using a Game Genie or a Game Shark type of device, because they were not able to code it in there. But yeah, let's pretend for a moment that Nintendo was all like, hey, we're doing a Game Boy Classic, and it's going to have Game Boy, it's going to have a Game Boy, up to Game Boy Color with Super Game Boy capabilities. This is the amount of games I would want on it. Let's go over this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And of course, since we're going with Warlocked would be a real big bit of a long shot, so I'm just going to put Revenge of the Gator back in there. But yeah, if I were Nintendo, I would release something like this. What do y'all think? I mean, you listen to me rant for about almost 20 minutes or so, or at least over 20 minutes, depending, about what a Game Boy Classic could hold. Personally, if it were just black and white games, looking at the stuff I had there, I mean, Tetris, Super Mario Land 2, Wario Land, Kid Icarus, Metroid 2, Mole Mania, Kirby's Dream Land 2, perfect. I mean, you could have 14 games on there, be perfect. But if they went up to Game Boy Color and just went the little extra mile, you don't need to have Pokemon, an actual Pokemon game in there. Pokemon trading card game and Pokemon pinball would be enough. You could definitely read them off of that screen. But yeah, what do y'all think? If you were building a perfect Game Boy Classic, what games would be in it? Now, no, I didn't include Game Boy Advance games because I'm just like, that would make the video way too long. because there's so many great ones on that. I mean, that'd be like Summon Knight Swordcraft Story, or oh man, Choo Choo Rocket. Choo Choo Rocket. But yeah, Choo Choo Rocket on the Game Boy Advance is just mwah, like so great. And then I'd be all like, oh, and then you'd have stuff like well, Lady Saya was a good game that not enough people played. And then, like, they'd probably switch out Pokemon Pinball for Super Mario Pinball Land, and I would be like, no. Oh, but then you could have, like, Mario and Luigi, yeah, was it, I think, I'm trying to remember what that one, oh, Superstar Saga or something like that, yeah. And then you could have, like, Return to Dreamland. Yeah, there's a bunch you could have on that. DK King of Swing. Yeah. Oh, Mario and Donkey Kong. Whew, there was actually no really good Super Mario Brothers games that are original for that. They just kind of split Super Mario All-Stars up, added some extra stuff to each of those, and then popped them onto the Game Boy Advance. They didn't really have a real Mario game on that. So that's actually kind of the reason why I excluded Game Boy Advance from here. Because Nintendo's first-party offerings on the Game Boy Advance, aside from F-Zero and Super Mario Kart Super Circuit, were kind of lacking. I mean, you got Metroid 4, and you got Metroid Zero Mission, but nah, I would feel that if they do a Game Boy Classic, it should encapsulate just the Game Boy to the Game Boy Color. Mainly because that's what people have the most nostalgia for, and if they put Pokemon Pinball and Pokemon Trading Card Game on there, they could kind of get away with not letting people have like multiplayer and Pokemon stuff, because what would you do with those Pokemon anyways? It'd be nice to play it, but without a proper trading function, there's no purpose. But yeah, kind of want them to do this now. I mean, come on, you got this screen, just about this size right here. It would be perfect. And then like, yeah. I would probably put Kirby's Dream Land back on there, but I don't feel like going over to the box and getting the game out. But yeah, Kirby's Dream Land 2, Metroid 2, Super Mario Land 2, Wario Land, Mole Mania. That would be perfect. Anyways, let's end this video. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Hit that thumbs up, that share button, the subscribe button. Ring that little bell so you know whenever we have a brand new video here on Area DMG. And until the next video comes out, you are now caught up.
Morning, Maya.